Alright, welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. This is going to be part 21, and in this episode we're going to go through the Tomb of the Giants. So from where we left off, I went ahead and equipped the skull lantern that I got. Again, this is a random drop. Whether or not you get it, you put it in your shield slot, and when you block with it, it makes some light so you can see. If you didn't get one of these, you just have to kind of go in blind. You gotta follow these little like flares, these colored flares. Just follow where I go and try. You'll be able to see the giant skeletons, like their eyes in the dark, so you'll know kind of when they're swinging and stuff like that, so you know when to dodge. If you didn't get one of these lanterns, you have to go in dark, or you can use the light sorcery if you have it. At this point I don't have it, so and if you're following along, you probably won't have it either. But in any case, we make it here to this little bonfire. I'm going to go ahead and kindle that. And this is going to be the first bonfire here. I'm going to level up, I think. Yeah, my dex. And then I'm going to do... I'm going to grab the skull lantern. This is the one spot where you're guaranteed a skull lantern here, so I'm going to show you. You're going to come talk to this guy. His name's Patches. He's going to ask if you're a cleric. You tell him no. And he'll say, you can have that loot down there. And then he'll kick you into a pit. And you can grab these 3 items, one of which is a skull lantern. So you can equip that now. And you'll see when you have it out and you're shining the light, you'll see these like blue lights on the walls. So we're gonna follow those until we find the Maiden here, and she's gonna say that her friends went hollow. This is the girl that was with the Clerics. These are the Clerics that were up with Petrus at some point really early on. They're actually really annoying to deal with. I really wouldn't recommend trying to go for backstabs unless they're like unless they really telegraph their attacks. The best thing to do is try and get a parry off on one of them, which again is really hard. And try not to stand too close to the edge because they can knock you off with that spell, force spell that they do, the little burst. So luckily here I got a parry off on one of them twice, I believe, or a backstab and a parry or something like that, and that killed him. And then I only got this one guy left. He's gonna pull out his talisman. You can see it in his hand, and that's how you know when he's about to do that little force thing. You can kind of tell when they're about to do it because they pull out the talisman. They won't be holding a weapon. But yeah, you want to kill them. And once they're dead, you can come back over here to the Maiden, and she will give you the 9th miracle, Replenishment. So, it's another miracle. We're getting a bunch of miracles down here. Once you've done that, you can follow these blue lights down this tunnel. And be careful here, there's going to be some bone towers. Now they can kind of do this like flurry attack where they'll hit you from kind of any direction, or they'll do like a drop down move where they kind of like fall onto you and hit you for a bunch of damage. I like to two-hand my katana and try and get kind of far away and do like a lunge move at them and then back up immediately, and you can do that twice to kill them. And they actually drop these white Titanite chunks, so you can farm those here. We're gonna need 7 of those, so there's 1 of them I just got. So you can farm them right now, but I'm actually gonna come back and farm them later because there are some white Titanite chunks that we can get up ahead here while we're going through. So I want to grab as many as I can without having to farm, and then I'll come back and farm whatever I need left. But again, we're gonna need 7 of those, so we're at 1. Once you've climbed up that ladder, you can break that illusion wall and then come back and talk to Patches again, and he'll kind of say sorry, ask if you're cool. If you say no, he'll give you twin humanities, and then he'll become a vendor later on. You can kill him now if you want, but I would much rather make him a vendor because he does sell some pretty cool items. So I like to leave him alive. Now I'm going to do like a death run for an item here, so I'm going to go ahead and equip one of the Rings of Sacrifice. And then I realized that I'm probably going to be medium rolling, so I go ahead and remove all my armor except for my chest piece, I think, so that I can fast roll, and that's going to let me run a little bit faster too. But you want to put that, make sure you put that ring on, and then you want to come all the way over here, and you're going to fall down this little hole, or I guess climb down the ladder. And there's going to be about 3 or 4 giant skeletons. I'm going to do a running jump to get as far as I possibly can. And the important item that we're going to get is all the way in the back here. Large Divine Ember. You want to make sure you get that. After that, you don't need this item, but I like to run and grab it because might as well. You're most likely going to die here. You can make it out, as you can see. You can climb the ladder. Unfortunately, I did get hit while I was on the ladder, so I died. But because we have that ring on, we suffer no penalties of dying other than we lose the ring because it breaks. But you can see we're still human, we still have our souls, we still have all our humanity in the counter. And I'm just checking to make sure I'm still at 1 chunk. Don't forget to re-equip all your items. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Got my Havel's ring. And the rest of my crimson armor. And we're going to continue on here. Unfortunately, I did die, which I think is my first, or it's either my first death or first death in a really long time for this playthrough. So I did pretty well in terms of deaths on this run. Didn't die too many times. Made it pretty far. But we're going to kill this skeletal abomination here. They are really aggressive, so be careful when you're trying to cast spells at them. You want to try and maybe free aim a spell at them from far away rather than trying to lock on and then finish them off with your sword. There's going to be a couple of these up ahead, so that's just the first one. And then once you've killed him, you can walk through this fog wall. And before moving forward, I kind of sped this up because I did take a while to kill this guy, but you're going to get pushed by a Black Knight with a halberd, and I played cat and mouse with him for a while, so you can get back here where it's safe and you can kind of have a big open area to fight him without kind of drawing the attention of everything else. You can kill him pretty easily. He does drop the halberd here for me, but he won't always drop that, so I'm not going to count that here. Again, I'm going to count all the Black Knight weapons towards the end of the playthrough. And he did drop a white Titanite chunk, and he's always going to drop that, so that's good for us. We're at 2 white Titanite chunks now. Then there's going to be another abomination that we killed because we have to come towards this guy over here with the bow, and then we kill the guy with the bow, and then we're going to fall down this little thing here. Just be careful, make sure you land properly. And we're going to do this real quick. We're going to grab this ring, and then we're going to run into this corner and immediately homeward bone out. You want to be quick about that because they can knock you off the edge, and it's like 5 bone towers, so you don't want to get caught and all that. But yeah, we did pick up the silver serpent ring. So that's going to let us get some more souls on kills when we wear it. So make sure you grab that. We're going to be farming souls later on. Unfortunately, because we homeward bone, we do have to kill all of the enemies again, except for the Black Knight. The Black Knight does not respawn. So that's going to be 3 skeletal abominations and the skeleton giant with the bow. Once you've killed them, you can fall down or run down this sort of hole next to the giant with the bow. And if you follow me exactly, you'll end up at this item here, which is going to be the Effigy shield, which puts us at 20 out of 50 rare weapons. We are definitely moving on up in the rare weapon department. Once you've grabbed that, you can head back out, or not out, but sort of opposite direction of where the shield was. If you follow these blue lights here, you'll curve around. There's going to be some more skeletal abominations, but we're going to run past everything in this area because we don't need to fight them. There's no point. You can grab another white Titanite chunk here, so that's 3. That puts me at 3. If you didn't get the random drop from the bone towers, then you'd be at 2. Then you can come down this tunnel. There's going to be another item. Be careful picking up this item because they can enemies can drop down on you. As you can see, they're up there. They can drop down on you and block your path down this tunnel. Once you make it here, I did forget to become human here, so that's why you saw a cut. You want to be human before you come down this way. I should have mentioned that before. But yeah, go ahead and come grab, or come down here. This is gonna be kind of difficult here because it's such a small tunnel, but if you run down this way, you can kill this lizard real quick. Unfortunately, I did miss it, but that's okay. If you miss it, don't worry about it. You are going to get invaded here by Paladin Leroy. You do not want to get hit by his weapon. It hits really hard. And you want to be careful with what I just did there. You'll see I backstabbed him and I almost knocked him off the cliff. You do not want to knock him off the cliff. If you knock him off the cliff, you won't be able to pick up his items off of his corpse because they will be all the way down in the bottom of the pit that you can't go down. So, just be careful not to knock him off the cliff. It might even be better to come down this tunnel just so that you don't accidentally push him off the cliff. So I did get a few backstabs off on him. I would try and go for a parry, but I really don't want to mess it up and insta-die, so I just went with backstabs. And once you kill him, you can pick up Grant off of his corpse. Now it didn't show it, but you also pick up another weapon, so I'm going to go make sure I pick that up. It didn't show it because it was kind of blocked by the message that said enemy vanquished or whatever. So you get Grant and you'll also get Sanctus, so that puts us at 21 and 22 of 50 rare weapons. And then you want to back up sort of outside the tunnel, quit the game, reload, and this is only if you missed the lizard like I did. You can do that to sort of get a retry on killing the lizard. And he can also drop a white Titanite chunk, so unfortunately for me he didn't. He dropped just some twinkling Titanite. But that's okay. We'll have more than enough white Titanite chunks. And we can also we can always farm them later on. So I go ahead and put on the gold Serpent ring here, just so that I can kill these bone towers to see if they drop some more white Titanite chunks. I am at 3 at this point, so at the very least you should be at 2. We're going to need 7 total. And there are some to pick up in the next room too, as well as some enemies that will also drop them. You want to be careful here because you're going to get pinched by 2 bone tower skeletons, or skeleton bone towers, and there's also going to be a giant skeleton shooting you with a bow in the distance. So that's the guy that keeps hitting me. He can hit you through other enemies for some reason, which I think is dumb, but whatever. You can kill them, you cannot, it doesn't really matter. I ran past them. If anything, I would kill the bone tower maybe. It does disappear to get out of your way and then goes back behind you. So I would go back and kill that just to see if you can get another white chunk drop. Once you're in here, there's going to be a bunch of pinwheel enemies, just like the boss, just a lot weaker. And they can actually drop white Titanite chunks as well. So I would go around trying to kill all of them. I would ignore the little baby skeletons for the most part. You can kill them if they get in your way, but other than that, I wouldn't worry about them too much. There's another white Titanite chunk, and this one also dropped another one. So I am now at 5 total white Titanite chunks. I don't know if the baby skeletons can drop white Titanite chunks. I don't think they can, but I know they can drop humanity. So if you want to farm them for some humanity, you can. They do spawn infinitely, as far as I am aware, while you're down here. But you do want to kill all these pinwheels. They do also give you a chance of dropping their masks, which is going to be Mask of the Child, Mask of the Father, Mask of the Mother, which none of them are particularly bad. I did get the Mask of the Mother here, and I did get another white Titanite chunk, which puts me at 6, which means I only need 1 more, and I'll go back and farm that later on. I think I do that in the next episode. So once you've done that, you can run back up here, and you want to go down this tunnel here, and once you're in here, there's going to be an item in the end, and you want to make sure you pick this up. It's going to be the white Titanite slab. So now we have almost all of the materials we need to get our Divine Uchi Katana from +5 to +10. We just need 1 more white Titanite chunk. And I was just killing some of these baby skeletons just to see if they would drop some white Titanite chunks. Again, I don't think they do. I wasn't sure if they did. I'm pretty sure they just drop humanity though. You want to be careful here as well, killing too many of these guys, because they do drain your weapons durability a lot. So you can see my weapon is at risk now, so that's going to make me do almost no damage to the boss up ahead. Luckily I have some lightning spears left over, so that's what's going to do the bulk of my damage. I did have 9. If I had 10, then I probably could have killed him with just lightning spears, but unfortunately I was down a lightning spear. Once you're ready to kill the boss, you can come down, break this little wood structure here, and then go through the fog wall. And then I would apply your power within here first. Jump down. That'll start the boss fight. And in this area, the skeletons don't necessarily they don't die normally. They will keep respawning unless you have a divine weapon like we do. So that's why we're going to use this divine weapon. We're going to kill them permanently. There are also some giant skeletons in the back corners, so make sure you kind of stay in this general area so they don't aggro onto you. If the boss gets down like this, you want to run sort of into this corner here. He won't be able to hit you. Just run far away from him. When you hear him scream, he's going to throw his sword into the floor, and you can dodge out of the way of his little red sword that comes out of the ground. It's fairly easy to dodge. You just gotta dodge like just before or just as his sword hits the ground, and you can dodge out of the way. You can stay really far away from him and throw lightning spears, or you can stay close to him and hit him with your sword. He can't hit you very well if you stay really close to him. You also want to make sure that you pick up that armor that I picked up, because we're going to need that, and we're going to use that later on. And here I'm out of lightning spears, and you can see I'm barely doing any damage with my sword. Unfortunately, he did hit me with this thing. I thought it would kill him before he got it off, but it's fine. I survived. I got the kill. Got the souls. You also get the souls from the skeletons that are still alive. Once you kill the boss, all the other skeletons die. So, free souls. There's your achievement for defeating Gravelord Nito. We're gonna light this bonfire, and we're gonna travel out of here. Back to Firelink Shrine. And that should be the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure you tune into the next episode, and see you next time.